We are fortunate to be joined today by Caitlin Grubb and Tom Shively, both from Buyside. So they'll be doing our training today. We're happy to have them join us as experts on Buyside. I want to do just a quick screen share with you just to remind you of a couple things on here. All right, you should be able to see Town Central. I just wanted to remind everybody that you are able to access Buyside at any time from the Town Central dashboard. Once you're logged into Town Central, all you have to do is scroll down, and in our quick links right here is the Buyside link. If you just click it, it will automatically take you into Buyside with no username or password required, and you'll be able to go ahead and get on in. All right. I also wanted to remind you that all of your Site Builder websites, for those of you who are Site Builder subscribers, also have a what is your home worth button, either in your navigation bar that takes you to your home valuation tool, or it's automatically built in as a call to action right here on your home valuation. If you just click that, anybody can get their home valuation report from you. So just want to remind you of those two things. You can get to it from Town Central and to get into your dashboard, and then you also have it built into all of your Site Builder websites. I am going to turn it over to Caitlin and Tom to continue our training. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. That's a great intro. And we're just going to jump in here. So let me go ahead and share this screen. Now, before we jump into this dashboard here, I do want to make you aware that you do have a couple resources to you. And that is you have Buyside Insiders, which is our Facebook group here. So if you want to see some best practices, some tips and tricks, and some testimonials of how people have found success, how people have used some of the strategy that we're going to talk about today to be successful, you can find it there. And also, if you run into any issues, you can always contact us at support@getbuyside.com, and we'd be happy to help you with any issues, or if you just need to run over some of the stuff that we went over today. Okay, so that's our quick intro, but we're going to go over some strategy on how to use Buyside. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is your marketing suite. So how we can use this to get these new leads, to win these new listings. Now on your dashboard here, you can see that there are a couple of tabs here. So your valuation attempts, your leads, and your monthly reports. Now those are the ways that somebody can interact with your marketing suite, that they can see this, and you can at a glance see if you need to go into your lead section. If there is anything new in there, we can actually see that on our dashboard. All right, so we're going to jump into our marketing suite. And the thing that I always like to start with is, if you haven't been in here in a while, just come in here and check out your site. Preview that site by clicking on this. Now, we've already done that. So a lot of clients, when they get to their home valuation site, once they enter that address in there, they're going to have a few questions. And there's a lot of great information that we can use in here to help our client understand. So whether we're doing this with them or whether we've sent it to them either by email or by social media, which we'll talk about how we can send this out in just a minute, there's a few ways that we can talk up to these this information here. So every seller client are going to have the same two questions. Well, they'll probably have a lot more, but they'll generally have the same two questions. And that is, how much is my home worth? And who's going to buy it? And we can help answer these questions using these tools, using these pages. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the monthly reports up top. Now, when somebody comes to this page, whether they do that on their own or whether you help them, we get there, we type in their address. Let's say we're at a barbecue and they say, I just don't know how much my home is worth. I say, hey, let me help you out here. We can go to this page, but we can also sign them up for this monthly report. So if this is something they're interested in, if they want to learn about real estate, all we'd have to do is pop in their name and their email address here. So let's do that really quick. Tom@bake.com. And now they're going to get this report for this address every single month. So whether this person is going to buy or sell with me right now, or it's going to be another 12 months or 18 months or 2 years, they're going to know that I'm the one sending this report, this information to them, because it is branded to me. It's got all this information on the top. So you're able to send out this monthly report and stay in flow with that person throughout their entire real estate career. So that's a good resource to use on top. also to get them this information, but also get a little bit of that information back. Use this as a lead. Be able to have that communication channel with them. All right, so then we have our AVMs, and this is helping answer that first question of how much is my home worth. And now a lot of folks are going to have the question, well, if you're giving this to me, if you're giving me this information, why do I need an agent? And the answer is if they were to actually read this number. So they have this information. The averages go from $381,000 all the way up to $401,000. That's a pretty big range. And if you actually look at the numbers down here, this range is even bigger here. So we can see that it's $339,000 all the way up to $461,000. That's a pretty big range that we can be dealing with there. That's over $100,000. And that's the reason that we would need an agent. So we surface this information. We give you these automated valuation models to say, are you interested in getting an expert's opinion on this? Because these are exactly what they claim to be. They are an estimate, but it's generated by a computer algorithm, right? It's not a person walking the streets. It's not somebody that knows the neighborhood, that's been through your listings, that's been through this house. So they're not going to be able to get this accurate number here. And honestly, I ran my sister's address on this, and it was this is out in California, but it was everything from $900,000 all the way to $1.1 million. And the truth is that they had just put in a pool, and that wasn't factored into these automated valuation models. So what we noticed is that their house would actually fall on the higher side of the range that was higher than the averages. That's why you would need this agent. That's why you need an expert in order to price our listing right. So we have this information, and we give this to them up front just to say, this information is a good estimate. It's a good way of tracking how the market is moving. But if we're actually going to list our house, if we're going to put this on the market, we'll need some expertise to get that exact number. So we can have it get the full value of your house, but not have it sit on the MLS forever. All right, so that's the first part of this. And next, we're going to scroll down a bit because a lot of this information I know you've seen already. So we know that there's the buyer heat map in here. And this is a way for us to share some market information. So if they're saying, hey, what does this mean? Well, the point here isn't that I cross my fingers and that I hope it ends up in this really active area. The point here is that I'm giving them market information. So whether they're ready to buy or sell now, or they're looking for the future, we can tell them, and if they ask these questions, we can say, this is market information about what's going on in your neighborhood. Now, at the moment, it is in a very active area. This is a good time. So, but if that were to change, if you're monitoring how the market is moving, you can see that on your buyer heat map. And the other way to look at this is your funnel down here. Now, this is a great way to see how many people are interested in listings, because these are internet searches, and it goes everything from the brokerage website. How many people are searching on the brokerage website? How many people are looking within a 5-mile radius of this address? How many people are looking in this home's price range? And there's 201 people currently looking for this exact listing online. This is what we're able to see from this. So online activities within a 5-mile radius, within the home's price range, and are looking for a 5-bedroom. So we are able to say there are a lot of people out there that are currently looking for your listing. Now the question becomes, if they were to see this again, if they were to see this on their own, or we were sitting with them, working with them on this, who's going to buy our home? Well, that's when we would schedule our meeting, right? So that's when they would reach out to us. They would contact us through this HVS. Now, on the top of the page where we saw our AVMs, and on the bottom of this page, it says contact Joe. There is these call to actions here that let somebody communicate with you, that let somebody say, hey, I've got a question about some of the information that I see on this page. So whether it is the pricing of the listing, or who's going to buy it, or who these people are, they can reach out to you. And what we notice is that about 30% of people that come to your HVS, when we share this out, when they run their address, leave their contact information, which means there's a huge percentage of people that are coming into our lead section as a really warm lead. So I'm going to have their name, their contact information, their email address, their phone number, all this great stuff that we can see. And about 10% of people run this monthly report. So I'm going to be able to stay in flow with a lot of people that are interested in real estate. So I can continue to follow up with them, whether they go to this page or they get that monthly report emailed to them. So I'll see that in my lead section. But this is such a simple way to stay in flow with those people and get this contact information and these new leads that might be online or might be from email contact. All right, so that's what's on your home valuation site, and that's just a little strategy in speaking to this page. So we have our monthly reports and our call to action. Now, the question is, how can I share this out? What is the best way to get this into our clients' hands? So some of the best practices that we've found are using these tools on the bottom, which are really simple tools to share this out with your clients. So first is your email signature, and this is your valuations link here. So any communication that we send out, I mean, think about it. When we send an email to somebody, whether it be someone that is a potential client or a past client or my dentist or my son's principal, whoever that is, all of those could be potential leads. So any of those communications I send out, I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to paste it into my email signature. Now you only have to do that once. And then it's going to be in all of your communications, but it's going to sit in your email signature. And then anybody that reads an email from you is going to say, see what your home is worth? I could see what my home is worth. It's just an easy click and they put in their address. Now we noticed when we did our address, when we put that address in, there isn't a forced login. So it's going to provide people more incentive to enter their address in than it would be if we required them to enter a username and password and all that other stuff. So it's going to be really simple for them to do this. So all we have to do here is copy this text, paste it in our email signature. That's as complicated as it gets. Now, the other part of this here that is a best practice that we can use is the copy link. So our home valuation site, it is a URL. That's what it is. So we can copy that link, just press that button. And I'm actually going to open a new window just to show you. Up on top, it does paste my URL up there. So let's go ahead and go to it. And we know what this looks like. We've seen this before. But that's a really easy way for you to get this link out, is by copying that link and pasting it wherever a URL can go. So I'm on a computer that can send text messages. So if I want to text somebody that has questions about real estate, I can just say, hey, see what your home is worth, see what the market's doing, see how many people are interested in buying your listing. And we can start to that conversation from there. Once we provide them with all of this great information, we're going to see that come in to our leads section. But also this can go in our email blasts, our newsletters, in all of these different places just by copying that link. So that's another really simple way to get this out. So we can put this link in a lot of different places. All right, the next place to send this out is another really simple one, but it's also such a powerful one because most people nowadays, especially in the wake of the pandemic, are on social media all the time. Digital has like jumped forward in the last few months. So we're able to see that we can share this on social media so simply here. So we can see we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, LinkedIn. There's actually 181 different social medias that we can use. So just a quick refresher for the Facebook portion of this, because that is most common, is you can share this out. It has this great image already. All I have to do is type out a quick caption. So see what your home is worth. Early in the morning, I'm sorry. Here we go. So see what your home is worth. And we can share this in a number of places. So one is to our newsfeed or story. So that's your regular Facebook page. But we can also share this to a group. So if I'm in a particular group, if I'm in a neighborhood or a community or a, even if it's a city, I can share this out to that Facebook group. And then people can start to see what their home is worth. And I'm going to see those people on my lead screen. So this is a really simple way of farming in a particular area just by posting this in a particular group. So I'm actually in a group that is my neighborhood. It's called Walnut Creek. And I post this periodically just so people can see what their home is worth. Now, the other here is share on a page you manage. So that is your Facebook business page. And we're going to see I've got one right here. And it's really simple. That's all it takes to post this to your social media, your Facebook business page. Now, one thing I will say is that when you post to social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any of those other pages, you're going to notice that each post goes to about 5 to 7% of your audience. That's how much they're going to be see. That's how much exposure we're going to get per post. The point that I'm making here is that we'll want to post this frequently. So I like to post this once a week just because it is going to circulate. And if somebody does click on it and they like what they saw, odds are they'll probably click on it again. So I can get it out in front of more of my audience, or I can share this information to people that may want to see it more than once. So I like to post this on a weekly basis. That way a lot of my audience can actually see how this works. Now you will notice from this social media list that there is one missing. You will see that Instagram is actually not on here. Now we can still share our HVS page on our Instagram site, but the way that we do that is a little different because with each of these sites, it posts the link directly in the post. The problem is that Instagram doesn't do that. That's not the way it works. If you have a link in your post, it's not going to actually go anywhere. So the best way to do this would be back to our link here. So we can grab this link right under copy link, and we can post that in our Facebook page, or excuse me, our Instagram page. Under bio. So under your bio, you can post this as your URL. And then anytime we want to see somebody run this or get those leads, capture that lead information, we can send out a post and say, if you'd like to see what your home is worth, the link is in the bio. That's pretty common practices now. So when we use any one of these social medias, it's getting out in front of those folks. And we can do a lot of those here through Buyside. But you can also do, there's a few of these social medias where we might need to copy and paste this link, Instagram being the biggest one. All right, now before we started this, you did hear that you do have a see what your home is worth on your website. So that's what this is here. So this is the widget. So you're actually, if you use that website, you're not gonna have to touch this. But if you use a third-party website that isn't that, you can still have that widget in here. Just to let you know, that is what this code does. Okay, so now we've seen how we can share this out to our clients. So we've got two things that we're gonna go over left. So one is our leads here, and we can see a couple of things from this page. Now, one is when that information comes in, when we see that lead information, it will get emailed to us. So we can see that under our notification settings. But you're also going to notice we have that lead information, and that's pretty simple to run, right? I can send an email or I can give them a phone call right away. That's simple enough. Now, you are going to see a few of these that say no name provided. So that I can still use as a lead. So some of the best practices for the leads page is if you see these, this is not a throwaway lead. One is that you have the owner's name. Now, odds are if we're posting this in our email signature, if we're sending it out on social media, we're probably going to know this person's name. They're in our sphere of influence. They will have gotten to this link somehow from our links. Now, we probably know who this is. So I can reach out to them and say, hey, are you interested in real estate? Let's schedule a meeting. Now, if we don't, if there's somehow it got circulated in a different way and we see somebody that we don't recognize, again, we can still use this as a lead. And the way that we would do that is we can download this as Avery labels. Most of us have mailers that we send out. So what we can do is download those as Avery labels, print those out, and if it's on the sticky paper, you can just peel it off and stick it on your mailer, and away it goes, because we do have that person's address. We do have that person's name. So we can still find a lot of use out of these ones that have no name provided, because odds are we'll know who they are, or we can send them some more of that marketing information. Now, one more best practice that we'll talk about for your home valuation site is out of area. Now, if you haven't clicked on this tab, I would recommend coming here just to see if there are people that have run site, whether it be from your social media or anywhere else that's not in your area. I have a friend in Rome that clicks on everything that I post, so he would end up in here. So I can see if there are folks that are looking into real estate, looking into buying or selling that might be out of my area. Well, I can use that for my referral business, right? I can send those out to somebody else, collect those referral fees, or get referrals back. So this is a really simple way for you to see and connect people with that interest, with the real estate interest, with an agent that we know. All right, so now that we've gone through the leads, now that we've seen this information on how to get those new leads, let's say it worked. Somebody messaged us, we got that inquiry, we gave them a phone call and they said, I'm interested in real estate. Let's have a meeting. So what we're gonna talk about next is called your BMA. It's your buyer market analysis. Now this is really simple to set up here. So what we can do is we're gonna click on BMA and we're gonna go to the address here. So we're just going to grab that address that we had before. See it. Okay, so we're going to grab that address. It's going to confirm. And when we create our BMA, there are 3 simple steps in this. And one is we have those details. We have the AVMs that we talked about. So you can select which ones you like. And then we select next, and then it has the range. So I know I went through this really fast, but the creation of this is really simple. So if you went through these steps, you're going to see that it is really easy to create these. Now, we see that we have 21 featured buyers. So when we select Generate PDF, it's going to take a few minutes to create this report. So it's 6 pages long, but everything on here is designed to help you win that listing, get somebody to sign the contract. So a great way to use this report is to pair it with our CMA. Now we know our CMAs are a great tool, right? But the only problem we have with that is it shows what's happened in the past. It shows what sales have already happened. This BMA is going to help show your client buyer information that's right now, that is available right now. So we can go through this page here and we can see that it is branded to you. So we have this first cover page here. Then we have the brokerage page, because when somebody signs with you, they are also signing with your brokerage. And then we have our real-time valuation. So this is an opportunity for us to answer that first question with our client face-to-face. So they say, I see these numbers. I have a question of why would I need an agent if I know this information? Why can't I just put this information out here? So this is where we get to point out, look at this range, look at this information. What they're saying is that this could be anywhere from $329,000 all the way up to $446,000. So this is why you would need an agent, because I'm going to help you price your listing right. That isn't just a computer algorithm. So you get to give them this information and the expertise. What would you price the listing at? Is it on the higher end? Is it on the lower end? So we can give them that information here. So this is how much your listing is worth. So next is our buyer heat map. And again, this is giving out that market information. So that information that's talking about how they're doing in the market. Where is their listing? How many people are searching for that? And we can show them how many people are searching using that funnel. Now, we talked about this just a second ago on our HVS, but odds are they consumed that information on their own. So this is a way for us to speak to this information and say, there is a lot of people searching for real estate right now. We can see there's 130 million people out there looking at homes on the Berkshire Hathaway website. And there's currently almost 200 people that are looking for your exact home. So now they're going to ask you the last question. Well, who are they? What is this? Who are those people? And here is the knockout punch, is where we get to say, well, check this out. There are currently 21 people that are represented by an agent at my brokerage that are looking for your listing. Their buyer profile matches your listing. So if we sign that contract, if you work with me, I can contact the agent that represents all of these people today, and we can start to get them in and seeing your listing. We can get your listing sold that much faster because we have this big head start. We have all of these featured buyers. Now you'll notice that the buyer information isn't shared. It has a buyer ID that's generated by us because we know that buyer information is sacred. So all it's going to show is there is this many people. So we have this many folks that we can now reach out to. All right, so I have one more thing that I'm going to show you, and that is with your buyers. So when you put a buyer into the system, you're going to see all of these matches here. The way that we can close those deals that much faster is we're able to see how many listings match up with my buyer. So we can see the whole buyer profile. I entered all this in so I can see my client's name, but here are all of those listings. Now, another way that we can use this for marketing for ourselves is we can post our buyer on social media. So you see that icon up there? So we can send it out on any of our sites. So this is what they're going to see here is that buyer ID, but all of the information here. So they can see they're looking in this particular area. They can see the map down here. What is the price range? What is the bedrooms, the bathrooms, all that great stuff in here. And we give them that call to action section down here on that full details. So we have what's the price range and the locations, but if they want the full profile, they can fill out this information. And again, that's going to go to your leads page. So whether it is somebody that's looking to purchase a new listing, somebody that is saying, you know what, I want to work with an agent that has buyers, so I'm going to reach out to him. Or if it's somebody that says, you know what, I want to sell my listing, I should probably contact a person that has buyers. You can send this out and use that as another way to generate leads. So there's a few different ways that you can use this platform on social media and send this information out. Whew, okay, so that is some of the buy-side strategy that we're going to talk about today. So I know I'm pushing the time here, but if we have any questions, please let us know. And I know I talk really fast, so if you want me to review anything, again, let us know.
Will you show us where to find both our newly redone Help Center and our webinar series?
Absolutely. So the way that we would find the Help Center is up here. So you can come up to your agent photo in the top right there, and we can go to Help. So under Help is where our Help Center lives. So you can see home valuation site, buyer market analysis, the buyer match, and we have our webinars down here. So you can see any of those webinars that we've done. We have them every single Thursday, and you can actually see the links that get posted on Buyside Insiders every single week. So if you wanted to check out our weekly series, these are little tidbits. The webinars are typically about 15 minutes long, so it doesn't take a long time, but it shows you one piece of how to use Buyside each week. So we come up with something like maybe what's the best way to enter in a buyer, or what is a really simple way to monitor our notification settings, or sending out on social media. What does that look like? So we do each of those every week, and you can check those out here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Did anybody have any questions? Well, we have our buy-side experts here with us today. You can go ahead and unmute if you have any questions, or put it into chat. No questions today. You guys did a fantastic job. I want to thank Caitlin and Tom for being here today to go over how to get more listings and how to work our leads with Buyside. And again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to use all of the resources they provided today, both the help email. Please do sign up for their webinar series, and also make sure that you check out all the help documents and how-to and tidbits that are available on the Buyside website. I'll thank you all for coming today.
Thank you for having us.